once I did my CA, I always wanted to be an academic. So people in the US do not know all the institutions in India. That's the advantage that you have when you apply from an IIT or an IIM. They know what an IIT and an IIM is, so it becomes
True.
life becomes very easy for you. Yes, one thing that I would definitely want to tell people is prospective PhD candidates is do not think of this as an alternate career. This is a first career. You can talk about hard work and stuff like that, dedication, hard work, and all that stuff. But the truth of the matter is that luck plays a very important role. Recognize when an opportunity comes and grab it with both hands. अपने बलबूते पे हम खड़े हुए हैं, that kind of feeling.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel and don't forget to press the bell icon to get all the latest updates. Hi everyone, my name is Anita Sharma and I welcome you all at Inquata Media once again. So there is a certain question which people always ask me, that what are the career choices which we can potentially have after our PhD when we complete our PhD. So a lot of options I can see, and very interestingly, I happen to meet with Dr. Anish Menon. He is currently in Atlanta in America, and we are speaking today with him. And he is a very interesting person in terms of his career choices, which he has made and taken up after his FPM from IIM Bangalore, which is very interesting because he has done FPM already and then moved to America for his second PhD in accounting. So he's going to share his career decisions in academia and research, that why he decided for taking up research as a second PhD as an option after his first PhD from IIM Bangalore. So I welcome Dr. Anish, and I'm really thankful to you for accepting my request and sharing your insights on this platform, which is, your interview is definitely going to be very, very helpful for many people, because this is all about American dreams. And we somewhere in our hearts have this feeling that we should go there and experience research, academia, and learn from various people, multicultural. So I'm really thankful to you for coming and showing up for Inquata Media. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Anita, for having me, and thank you, and thanks to Linkpot for doing such an amazing job. So I'm really
Thank
happy
you.
to be here.
Thank you. Thank you. So Anish, I'll start straight away because your profile is very interesting. So you are a CA. You have done your undergrads in commerce. Then you did your masters from IIT Madras. Then you did your FPM from IIM Bangalore in finance and accounting area. Eh, And then you decided to go for um, the second PhD. So I really want to know what moved you to take up a second PhD. I really want to know your career decisions. Why this happened?
So, if you want to know my career decisions as such, you should probably travel back
Ah,
and to my undergrad and my masters in commerce. So while I was doing my masters in commerce, somehow my father, my parents essentially wanted me to have some degree which would give me a good job. I mean, essentially they wanted an insurance policy that our son is not going to go hungry. So they said,
ah,
okay, uh, why don't you try your hand at CA? I I wanted to do an MBA and things like that. I went for CAT coaching, but then CA was they felt that CA was good because somewhere they felt that okay, our son will take a CA, then he'll start his practice here. He'll still be in my hometown and things like that. So I joined for my CA and I completed my CA. I did my articleship in my town. I did not go outside. And once I did my CA, I always wanted to be an academic. So I
mm,
always wanted to do a PhD. I knew what a PhD. I knew that a PhD was the final academic degree that you would get. It was just not commerce at that time, and I just wanted. I was, but I was always interested in academics.
mm,
So once I did my CA, I applied to IIT Madras. Now the advantage that you have when you apply with a CA is CA is a very well respected degree in India. Like anywhere you go, including IIT Madras, including the engineering students, they respect a CA. They know that, okay, this is not an easy course to get. And faculty, obviously, they understand that, okay, whether this guy is smart or not is secondary. We know that this guy will work hard because he is a CA. So that's the advantage. And once I got into IIT Madras, I finished I had an excellent time there. I finished uh, my MS in finance. I had publications and all that stuff. So applying into IIM Bangalore became much easier. So IIM Bangalore already knew that this is a guy who has research experience. So applying there became easier. Once I finished my FPM from IIM Bangalore, we were the first batch which actually got a PhD. We were the first batch.
Yeah, got it.
In IIM Bangalore that got a PhD.
Mm.
Once I entered IIM Bangalore, I realized that IIM Bangalore is a great place. One of the best research schools in India. There's no doubt about it. Most of my professors were people who had PhD from abroad. And interacting with them, I realized that the research culture that is there in the US is kind of a bit different from what it is in India. By fate or fortune, I had, my advisor was very supportive. He was like, okay, why don't you go and do a PhD abroad? And, this is another plug-in for my wife, who's also who's also doing her second PhD in the US in finance in Emory.
Oh my God.
So he kind of said, okay, he kind of motivated us as to why don't you apply? And then I applied, and fortunately, by God's grace, we both got into good institutions in the same city. So we stayed together over here.
Great.
So that's kind of how it went.
Great. So Anish, this brings another question, which is like, which we always think like once we are done with the PhD program, we did never think of doing the second or the third. But why you did not opt for a postdoc? Why second PhD?
Okay, that's a good question, Anita. So generally, the postdoc route is more of a science/engineering route. That's kind of how their industry works. How academia there works. That is, you finish your PhD, you go for a postdoc for 2 or 3 years, and then you apply for a job. In management, it's kind of different because the salary scales are different. So for many schools, they feel that taking an assistant professor would be much better than taking a postdoc. So postdoc opportunities, at least in good places, are very few. Very, very few. Usually, the opportunities come when faculty know you, they're willing to actually invite you to be there, and then the school has to have the budget to actually pay you for that. And many schools might think that that's not, why do we need another person to do research where we can hire someone who can do research and teaching at the same time? So it's kind of more of an industry thing, so to speak, broadly. But so I know that there are postdoc opportunities. I've seen quite a few people, including people who have interviewed at Inkpot Hub, mostly go to say European schools to do postdoc, or say get a Chevening scholarship or a Fulbright and spend some time here. But I did not feel that that would be and more importantly, that would not make me more competitive in the US market or in the global market, so to speak. So I felt that it was much better, say, spend a couple more years, take a PhD, and then become more competitive in the market. So that was kind of what my decision was, why my decision was this way.
So Anish, this is really a very interesting aspect or a perspective which you just shared, because a lot of people in India, because we do not have that exposure, so we always think that postdoc is an ultimate option after the PhD if we think of doing further studies. So doing a second PhD, I have seen a couple of more people who go for second PhD, but I really wanted to know the scenario in American market, American job market as well. So I would like to know, how does it work in America? Like, how should we go about finding jobs after PhD or postdoc or our second PhD? How does it work in America?
Okay, so first we'll let's see how you apply for a PhD first. So so the American, at least the top schools are very competitive. Simple reason, you are competing against students across the world. It's not just American students applying; it's students from China, um, South America. So it's pretty competitive. So the prerequisites are you need a high GMAT GRE score. TOEFL is whatever is the minimum that they need. They just want you to clear the barrier. In both your GRE and GMAT, it would be ideal if you scored very, very high in your quant section, which Indians generally do. Then, what I see as the most difficult part for many students to apply to the US is getting letters of recommendation. Now, your letters of recommendation are the most important aspect of your application for the simple reason that there is information asymmetry. People in the US do not know all the institutions in India. That's the advantage that you have when you apply from an IIT or an IIM. They know what an IIT and an IIM is, so
True.
life becomes very easy for you.
Mm-hmm.
However, from other institutions, you need a good letter of recommendation from a research active professor, preferably
Okay.
who has done a PhD from the US, so who knows the system. So someone whose name is recognized in the US. Now, what happens because of this is that the number of schools from where you can get this application in India becomes very small.
Mm-hmm.
ISB is one, IIM Bangalore is another. There are a few professors in IIM, say IIM Ahmedabad or IIM Calcutta. I think a couple in IIM Udaipur, but that's about it. So if you are really serious about pursuing a PhD in the US, then what I would suggest is try and join one of these schools as a research assistant. Spend a year or two, prepare, do some research, see if you can get into a working paper, develop your contacts abroad, because professors keep visiting, especially Indian professors. Usually, when I was there, they would always, they would visit, say, ISB and they would visit IIM Bangalore, most of them. So, get your contacts, get your letters of recommendation, and then apply. So that would be the first way to apply to the US. Postdoc, I am not very sure because I haven't applied. So I do not know how the route for a postdoc is.
Okay.
And then the job market in the US. So the job market in the US is very different compared to India. So in India, you have a lot of demand and very little supply. You have very few big institutions. So it's almost always sure. I mean, it's not, I wouldn't say almost always, it's guaranteed that if you say get your PhD from IIM Bangalore or IIM Ahmedabad or any other IIM, most probably, you are going to end up with a good job. Most probably in one of the other. If you're from IIM Ahmedabad, Bangalore, or Calcutta, it's highly likely you will get into one of the other IIMs.
Yeah.
In the US, it's very different. In the US, it's very competitive because there are a lot of schools. And each school has a lot of candidates. So it's almost like how people graduate in India from, say, a BTech or a BCom or an MCom. That's how PhDs graduate. Every 5 years you have people coming out. This year compared to last seems to be slightly better because there are a lot more colleges that are coming into the market. However, there are a lot of people who took a sixth year from last year because the market wasn't good. So there is a positive and there is a negative, but that is how it is. It is what it is. The market is more formal in the sense we have something called the Miami Rookie Camp, which is held in Miami in December every year. Last year it was virtual. This year it's in person. That's a place where all the prospective students will send their applications, and all prospective.
Anish, you're talking about like in the accounting area only, right?
Yes.
So it's all about accounting.
In the accounting area.
Yeah. So
it's about accounting, but most of the other areas follow a similar format.
Okay.
every other area.
Mm-hmm.
So I know about finance. Finance has what is called the American Finance Association. It's a part of the American Social Sciences Association,
Yeah.
which holds an annual meeting every January,
Mm-hmm.
and it has a job market in that in January.
Mm-hmm.
So AAA usually has a job market in its AAA annual meeting, which is usually in August. Some schools come to the AAA. This year it wasn't there because everything was virtual. Then most of the schools go to Miami. So they will. So it's kind of very systematic in the sense that you send an application, schools get your, and you say which schools you want your application sent to. Those schools get your application. They will look through it. They will decide whether they want an interview. They want a presentation and an interview. Your presentation is usually 15 minutes long. That's
Okay.
it. So you must be able to essentially distill your 2-3 years of work and tell people in 15 minutes what you have done.
Mm.
So you have various versions of your interview prepared. You have an elevator pitch, which is a 2-3 minute pitch you have to prepare because you don't know where you will meet a prospective professor from a prospective school. And if that person asks you, hey, what are you working on, you have to give him that pitch or her that pitch in 3 or 4 minutes. Then you have your 15-minute interview, 15-minute, which is usually the Miami Rookie Camp exclusive, because that's usually where you have 15 minutes. And then once you go to schools, you will be presenting the same thing for probably an hour or an hour and a half. So you have various levels of the same paper, various presentations of the same paper for various reasons, for various occasions.
Mm-hmm.
So then you have the interview in Miami, and if they feel that they want to pursue their relationship with you further, they'll invite you for campus flyouts.
Okay.
So they will pay your they'll pay for the airfare. They'll ask you. They'll invite you to the campus. You will meet with. So it's usually a whole 1 day program wherein you will meet each and every faculty of the school in your department, that is, and then you will give a 1.5. So it's both a professional and a social meeting together, and then hopefully they'll give you a job. So that's kind of how it goes.
Okay. So let me summarize what you just said, because just in some pointers. So especially in accounting and other areas, there are some special events wherein the potential candidates who are looking for jobs visit, and potential employers who are looking for good candidates also visits. So a candidate is supposed to present a job presentation or a work presentation or a paper presentation in different formats, as in like 3 minutes, 15 minutes, 1 hour kind of format, wherein we need to present our pitch kind of thing. And then when they they invite to their campuses, then they ask you to stay there for a day or two to interact with the rest of the faculty members if they like your work. And so is there any chance,
more importantly, if they like you, actually?
Yeah. So you like, they like. So is
Yeah.
there any possibility after that that they reject the candidate as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
They will probably invite. So say they shortlist 15 people for the first round, 15-20 people, because that's
Okay.
some sense costless for them, right? You are anyway presenting; they have to come and sit in your presentation. So the only cost is if the same, if two competing candidates are presenting at different times or something like that. But otherwise, it's more of a costless. So you will probably get a lot of first round interviews because they look at you and they'll say, okay, we'll give this person a chance. Then usually the second round will be, the shortlist will be say 3, 4, 5 people, and then they are choosing one out of them. So yeah, definitely there is no guarantee till you get your contract letter or from the school that they want to hire.
Okay, so in my head it was going as in like once it is done. So when you visit to these events, so it is done. So that's what I thought. So it's very interesting.
It's usually 2, 3, 4 rounds sometimes.
Yeah.
It can go on to 3, 4 rounds.
Yeah. It's very interesting because in India, if I see that what is happening in America and in India, in IIM especially and other B schools, this FRS system is working, like faculty recruitment seminar, wherein they invite
Mhm.
candidates, multiple candidates who apply to different institutes, and they come, interact with faculty members, prepare for 15 minutes talk, and then they start interacting with other faculty members. Then they give a pitch for 2-3 minutes, and in different personal meeting setup. So that is also happening in India. But yes, definitely it's very interesting to listen to you and learn from you for about American system. So so it is coming in December. So are you all set to speak about your job talk?
I mean, you're never always set, it's just degrees of how
Huh.
well prepared you are. You're never always 100% prepared because, it's research. There's nothing objective. It's kind of subjective in some sense. It keeps evolving. You keep
Mm.
presenting, you keep talking to people. So, I mean, yeah, I'm working towards it. So hopefully I'll be, because usually what happens is, we'll have presentations in our schools,
Mhm.
with our colleagues, with our faculty. There will be a lot of polishing to the whole thing done
Mhm.
in some time.
Mhm.
At a later stage before we go to the rookie camp, Miami rookie camp. And yeah, one point that I wanted to say was this is only for first time. This is job market for new candidates.
Okay.
This is not the job market for people who are already. So in the US, the terminology is rookie and seasoned. So rookie is a first time candidate who's just going out of the PhD program. A seasoned candidate is someone who has already some experience
Mm.
as an assistant professor or associate professor, whatever, at whatever level. So
Okay, for job
just to
shifts.
clarify that.
So
Yes,
job
for
shifts
job
is not,
shifts.
yeah, okay. So is there any other way, if the person is not able to attend the rookie camp, is there any
Mhm.
other way to apply to different B schools?
Yeah, so the applications have already started. So so usually what happens is you already send your applications to schools, and rookie camp is a place which makes it easier for people to interview you, or come together and things like that.
So, Anish, I also want to know some very untold queries which we generally have. So, in India, we generally have like research synopsis, SOP, and recommendations. So, is research synopsis equally important when we apply
No,
to American schools
no,
for the PhD program? No.
no. A research synopsis is not important.
Mhm.
It's a simple reason as so the expectation that a person who is applying to a PhD is that the person doesn't know much about research, academic research. Okay. So you might have a broad interest in something. You might have a broad interest in, say, a methodology. Even that is kind of not exactly important. But mostly you might have, say, for example, I'm interested in financial accounting, and I'm interested in mostly disclosures, accounting standards, and things like that. So that's kind of where most, I mean, many schools, that is the maximum they would expect. They want to essentially judge whether your research interests match their faculty, the faculty interests, and that's about it. No one expects a research synopsis or write a, because it doesn't work that way. Research doesn't actually work that way. So I mean, I think even IIM Bangalore, at least when I remember when I applied, did not require me to write a research synopsis or anything.
Uh-huh.
They need an SOP. In an SOP, you broadly state what interests you, or why you want to do research, and what part of research is what interests you. But I don't, I at least I fail to recall whether I had to
Okay.
submit a research proposal or something like that. So
Mhm. Mhm. Okay,
I
so
frankly think
people,
it's not required.
yeah. So sometimes it is like just asking research inclination, maybe not the
Yes,
complete synopsis or complete
yes,
topic with
yes,
the literature review, but just an
yes,
understanding. So I think that is
yes,
there in India. Uh,
yes.
so I also want to know about anything which I'm missing out, and you want to share something which I just
Uh,
missed out.
no, I mean, you have covered most of the things.
Uh-huh.
It's a See, it's PhD by itself is a very it's a tough journey. It's not easy. Whichever school you are in, and I would definitely. So yes, one thing that I would definitely want to tell people is, prospective PhD candidates, is do not think of this as an alternate career. This is a first career. You know, there is a lot of I have seen a lot of people, especially in the management side of things. Okay, we will come with yes, work experience is important. There are schools who actually value work experience, even when you're applying for a PhD and when you're applying for the job. But what they mean by work experience is 2, maximum 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like 15, 20 years. You have finished almost a career in the industry and now you want to start a new career in academics. I'm not saying you cannot do that. You can. You're perfectly, it's perfectly, you have all right to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to also understand that this is a this is also a full-time career. The competition will be very high from especially younger students and younger people. And for schools, especially in the US, I mean, India also, hiring a person is more of a lifetime commitment, because they
Yeah.
expect you to get tenure, and they expect you to uh, be there for a significant amount of time. So the earlier the better, right? If you're thinking about it in that way. So
Yeah.
that is something that I wanted people to
Mm-hmm.
kind of realize, especially in India, even applying to IIMs and things like that. Yes, work experience might be important, but it's not terribly important. It's not that you need 15 years of work experience to apply. 3, 4 years of work experience and you applying is pretty good. So
Okay.
that's
Okay.
probably the only additional thing that I have to
Okay.
say.
So I'm really it's like an eye-opening experience interacting with you, because there are hardly any persons who share the real story behind the way you reach up to this level, and you experience American job market and Indian job market. So I'm really thankful to you for sharing all these insights. We will be keep on coming to you because we want to learn that other further aspects after entering in the job market. How does it work?
Yeah.
Because such experiences are generally not talked, not shared. So we all just fight for our own routes and paths, and we learn by mistakes and struggles. So some
Mhm.
guidance is definitely needed. So I'm sure your interview is going to be helpful for many those who are looking for career choices in America, and who are still contemplating whether to go for the postdoc or for the second PhD. So you are an example who is a trailblazer, who said the things in a different way. And I'm sure getting into the American job market, this can be one of the ways and routes which you opted for. And I'm sure many people will follow it. So Anish, when you look back, do you see that there is something which we calling yourself being lucky, or how do you connect those dots? So you already had CA as in your insurance policy, and now you are in America. So how that insurance policy is still helping you out?
Yeah, I mean, to look back at it, I owe a lot to actually being a chartered accountant. Uh, if my parents had not, if my dad had not insisted that I do my CA, and he did it in a very gentle, he did it in a very nice and gentle way. He never was, okay, you have to do CA, otherwise you're not coming home or something like that. He did it in a very nice way.
Hmm.
And looking back, taking that CA has been probably the turning point in my career, because that opened up, that made my admission into IIT Madras much easier. The fact that I was a CA and IIT Madras made my admission into IIM Bangalore much more easier. And the fact that I had all three made my application and made my admission into into Georgia Tech easier.
Mm-hmm.
So one thing led to another. So it's very fateful that it's like a domino effect. So one toppled over there, and then that kind of led to all the
Correct.
rest. So I mean, uh, see, the fact is that you can talk about hard work and stuff like that, dedication, hard work, and all that stuff. But the truth of the matter is that luck plays a very important role. and you need to, you need to know when an opportunity opens up, and you should be fearless. I mean, again, considering what how your situation is, background is, and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But recognize when an opportunity comes and grab it with both hands. That's
Mm-hmm.
what I did in my life.
Mm-hmm.
I had an opportunity, it opened up. I'm thankful to, my parents, my mentors, and all those people without whom I would not be here. But when that opportunity came, I just grabbed it, and that's kind
Mm-hmm.
of how I am here. So
Okay.
that's all that I would tell people. They recognize an opportunity and grab it with both hands.
That's amazing. So actually, you being very humble and modest over here, because it is accepting the fact that luck played a very significant role. And uh, I wish you again good luck for your future.
Yeah.
I'm sure it is going to connect further.
And
And
I mean, there's something called humble bragging, which I am not doing, which I don't want to do. That is the truth of the matter. My research, we can talk about that some other day, but I look at things like meritocracy, and meritocracy is one of the things which we try to justify where we are,
Mhm.
you know, because we all want to feel that we did, if you're talking in Hindi, it's apne balboote pe hum khade hue hain, that kind of feeling. The fact is that that's not how life works.
Hmm.
Life actually is a lot of your hard work. Yes, obviously, you're not going to reach anywhere if you don't walk. But most important is that there is a lot of,
Support.
unexpected, unpredictable things, support, and those things. And those are also things which are, when you are born, unexpected or unpredictable.
Mhm.
Right? You do not know where you're born, and how life is going to turn up. So just the fact that, I had a extremely supportive, very very supportive parents. I had a, very good mentors. I had very good relationship with my mentors, my advisors, past, even present, my current advisor, my current dissertation committee members. That is very helpful. That is what actually takes you to your destination. You
Mhm.
might want to forget, you might try to forget it, or, you know uh, cover it over after you have reached a particular point, saying, oh, see, I'm here with all my hard work. And that's not true. The truth is, you reached here because a lot of people, known and unknown, helped you along the way to reach where you are.
True. Absolutely true. And I
And
second your thoughts. I
yes,
second
and
your humbleness. I really appreciate the fact that you accepted that there are so many people who help you reach this level.
yes,
And
yes,
I am
definitely.
glad that you opened up and you shared about it. Um, I appreciating the fact that parents always support, mentors always support. It's just that we realize it very late in our lives, and you realize this
Yeah.
very soon and very early in your life. So
No, I always had that realization, and I'm very thankful for it.
great, great. Thank you, Anish, and I wish you all the best. Good luck
Yeah.
for your future endeavors, and
Thank you.
we'll interact very soon. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's great to see you all here. Thank you for watching our work. If you have not subscribed to Inkpot Media, then please hit the bell icon and subscribe to our channel and support research celebrations in India.